Hello, Cape Town, and welcome to our very first live interview here on Facebook, introducing Thundafund and the possibilities of crowdfunding. We're here today with Patrick, CEO and founder of Thundafund, and yeah, we are eager to hear what crowdfunding is all about and to show you what is behind Thundafund and what is actually a crowdfunding campaign, which we will be launching soon on Thundafund itself. And yeah, thank you, Patrick, for your time, and yeah, looking forward to your answers.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, great. Patrick, what does crowdfunding for you personally mean? What does crowdfunding stand for?
You know, for me, it's very simple. It's people achieving their dreams, because it's one of the most difficult things when people want to. When they want to start a new business or expand something, they have an amazing idea. But to find the capital is very difficult. But further to that, to find a community who support your idea is even more difficult. So crowdfunding brings those two together. And through that, you turn an idea into something that's actually real in the world.
That's true. Yeah, that's what we're hoping for as well. In just in 5 words, how would you characterize crowdfunding?
Firstly, community, then passion, then commitment, then capital, and last of all, sustainability. And those words, they speak about the crowdfunding process itself, but it speaks about the impact of the program of the campaign itself. So when you do a crowdfunding campaign, you start something, but it's what you do after that which is most important.
Yes, to maintain. Basically, and take the momentum going forward.
You've convinced 100 people that your idea is great.
Yeah.
Now you need to deliver.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've got a whole group of people saying, what you've done, I believe in you. Yeah. Now show me what you can do.
Exactly. That's what we are planning to do as well, and we're very keen on looking very forward to these crowdfunding campaign. We set ourselves very ambitious goals for the future, which you can see on our webpage. And soon further information on our social media platforms as well. What is one of the most memorable crowdfunding campaigns you had on your platform?
You know, I looked at that question earlier, and I was like, you know, there are so many extraordinary campaigns that have been launched on Thundafund. There's over 250 successful campaigns, and many more that went through the process and weren't able to achieve the funds they wanted. But you know, there was one which has just reminded me that crowdfunding is not just for the rich and the well-connected. Crowdfunding allows people to cross bridges and build communities around ideas, people they've never met. One in particular was a guy called, we call him the gas man. So he's a guy out of the township. Yeah. His business is he delivers gas. Yes. So he literally, his video was, you saw him, he obviously had an iPhone set up, and he kind of looked at the iPhone, he's like, hi, I'm the gas man, and yeah, I need to buy a bucky for transport to deliver the gas in the township. And that was his, literally, he just needed to he needed transport because he was struggling to make any kind of profit because he had to hire buckies to deliver the gas. Yes. He needed to raise about 67,000 rand, and he raised about 35, which was his tipping point at least. Yes. And then because he had raised the 35, he was then able to get the other 30 from the bank. Well, actually another 40. Yeah. And it was such a wonderful thing where we saw his campaign go live. Yes. And we looked at this and we're like, you know what? We can work with this guy to make his dream happen. Yeah. So we helped him connect to various people who are in the more affluent world. Yes. And we raised the cash that he needed. Wow, that's fantastic. Only that. So he then went and we connected him with the guys who actually sells gas. And he was able to say, look, for the first year, I'll give you a discount on your gas to help you get out there. Yes. And that is the beauty of crowdfunding. When you say the capital is there, yes, it's the community you build. So like when you launch your brand, yes, so many people spend a whole bunch of money launching something, and then they go, okay, where are the customers? Yes. Imagine when you launch, after your campaign is completed, you've been successful, you then say, right, a whole bunch of people have been invited to a launch event. Yeah. 300 people arrive, yes, and they're all talking about your brand. Yes. That is what you want. So like the gas guy, he booked out of his campaign with a bucky, with a really good connection to gas guys where he would never have been able to get discounts for the quantity he was using, and he had a business. So that's the dream that you achieve when you do crowdfunding.
Awesome. That's great. That's stories we like to hear. And yeah, there's out of personal experience, I tried a couple of years back my very first crowdfunding campaign, and I failed horribly. I mean, the only advice I was getting was from social media expert how to do it correctly. So at least something out of it, but not the financials to continue the business, which changed luckily now.
Well, can I ask maybe, did the crowd tell you that your idea was great, but it just wasn't right at that time, or wasn't quite right to launch as a business?
Yeah, this is just the way I've set it up, probably. The
and you know, what's fantastic about that is that crowdfunding allows you to fail without ending up with huge debt. You can start in a space, you run a campaign, you see the market reaction to it, and then you decide whether you want to continue or not.
Yes.
So with the campaign that we're going to do together, look, I think it's a fantastic product, so I think it'll do well. But you know, you come out of the process, and instead thinking, I've got a bunch of cash, is it going to work?
Yes.
You say, I've got a bunch of cash, I've got a whole bunch of people who believe in my product. The chance of success is so much greater.
That's awesome. What other importance does a crowdfunding campaign has for local businesses or local startups? Besides the...
what other importance? One of the most important things that an entrepreneurial ecosystem has to provide is the space to test ideas in a relatively it's not safe but supported ecosystem.
Yes.
So raising capital is one thing, but it is so difficult for a business to work in isolation from the environment around it.
Yes.
So what I mean by that is what crowdfunding provides is it's a combination of capital and community. And when we first started Thundafund, it was 3 years ago now, I actually didn't realize how important that was.
Yeah. Is
that capital is great. You know, yes, you need good. If you've got security, you raise it from the bank says she has your money because we know it can take your house.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, if you can, so in South Africa, only 3 out of every 10 businesses survive the first 3 years.
Yes.
That's a 70% failure rate.
Yeah.
That's a crazy use of capital where people's dreams are broken and they end up with debt and losing their assets and so forth. If you can change that, and we've seen it,
yes.
You have, I can't give you the exact stats, but you have a much higher success rate if you go through a crowdfunding campaign and you're successful
yes.
than you do if you just launch a business.
Yeah.
And that to me it's probably the most important thing, because in South Africa, we need to create a space for entrepreneurs to get out there, test ideas, test 2 or 3 ideas. And we've had people who have done exactly that. They've come, they've worked with an idea, it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
And they've come back, worked with another idea, and it has.
Yes.
And that's great to see.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Looking into the future, you mentioned that to create a space for allowing to have failure, but not on the cost of personal debt. Where do you see crowdfunding evolving to in South Africa?
I see crowdfunding as a very powerful driver of new entrepreneurship and creative innovation. It's not the be-all and end-all. It's not the answer to everything.
Yes.
It's part of an ecosystem of raising capital from when you start to when you are building your first factory, let's say. So in this space where we have a social crowdfunding, which is donations,
Yes.
Our sister platform to Thundafund is BackaBuddy, and that is purely focused on donations. So for example, there, we see a massive opportunity to raise capital for people in need. And one of the, our CEO of BackaBuddy said to me yesterday, he said, we raised 1.5 million rand for the victims of the fire relief. There's a town in Knysna,
Yes.
over 200 people lost their houses. It was a huge disaster. The big banks came along and they donated money.
Wow.
Which is great. But what we said is, when you get, campaigns for individual people who lost their houses, what happens there is people can say, I want to help. How can we come together as communities to actually help that person or that person? Yes. That builds bridges between historical divides, religious, racial divides, and that's what we need in South Africa is crowdfunding, whether it's social crowdfunding, whether it's rewards-based crowdfunding, what we're looking at doing now, or whether it's equity crowdfunding, which we're launching in 3 months' time. It's all about saying you don't have to do this alone. The entrepreneurial journey is often very lonely. You'll have 2 or 3 people in the room. They are working, as I said, entrepreneurs give up a 40-hour working week in order to work 80. You'll know about this.
You can see it.
Yeah. So in that space then, historically it was quite difficult to actually support people who are on their own, because it's like, how do you engage?
Yes.
Crowdfunding allows you to say, okay, we're going to build a community of people who believe in what you do. And sure enough, you'll support other people who are also building their dreams.
Yes.
And 5 years' time, you'll be able to say, you know what, actually, these guys are starting a food business, or building chocolate, or whatever it is. And we'll support them.
Yeah, 100%. Now, that's part of our mission as well. Being the fair taste is that our entire value chain is local businesses, it's family-run businesses. The one company even went so far that they started the employers fund with 25% of the shares belong to the employees of the company, so they have a say into where the future is going. So we're super excited about that, and we can actually say South African cooler. I mean, there are multinationals out there which have established themselves, but we didn't want to go that route and being one of them. Or your Pick and Pay, your no-name brands.
Well, it is a brand.
Be just a face in the crowd. So I think.
But people are looking for something that's different now. They get a bit sick of this of these big brands who basically the Coca-Colas and stuff of this world who literally they're mass market. Their marketing is really good. Yeah. This is true. But people are saying, look, actually, I want to try something which is bespoke. It's handmade. We've seen what's happening in the whiskey industry and in the gin industry.
100%.
And so it's, I think you guys are onto the right trend, let's say.
Thank you. We hope so. We're very confident about the product. So let's hope that we can continue that way. Just as a conclusion, and hopefully for the people that are watching us now, should they make use of a crowdfunding campaign as well? Obviously, you mentioned all the benefits from it, but one factor is obviously raising the capital to bring up the ideas. And so that's just a final wrap up of what we just spoke about. If that is something they should do.
Some tips in terms of what works, what doesn't. Firstly, crowdfunding campaigns, they don't just magically raise money. Yes. There's the occasional one that goes viral and people just get excited about it. There's one called a potato salad, in which he wanted to raise $67 to make a potato salad, and he raised $67,000 to make lots of potato salad. Yeah. So that was but that's unusual. You need to spend. We recommend spending as much time planning a campaign as running it. Yes. That's because people tend to fund success. Yes. So when they see a campaign that starts off and it starts to raise money, they go, "Wow, we want to be part of it." Yes. People, you see people in a crowd at a market or something. Yes. What happens? People all gather around a single store. Yes. And other guys are going, "What's wrong with our store?" Yes. Yeah. But when there's 5 people, there's 10, there's 20 people, what's happening there? Yeah. It's exactly the same with crowdfunding. So spending that time, like you're doing now, building your audience before you actually go live is so important. Yes. And then the other side of it is it's a campaign. Yes. So during that month, you live, breathe, sleep the campaign. Yes. And engage directly with anyone who comments. So all the people that you built up those relationships with. You don't need to always ask them for a direct investment. Yes. You can say, will you share what you're doing? Will you tell your friends? Yes. And then the third thing is, the third thing is, do a launch event. Yeah. Do a launch event at the beginning of the campaign. And the reason, again, you want that is there's so much noise in the online space. And crowdfunding is online. Yes. that you want to step above the parapet. When you do a launch event, people come along, they see what it is. You don't need to spend a lot of money. You can find a friend who's got a local restaurant or some supplier you're already working with. They're delighted because they'll have a whole bunch of people come in there. They'll not only get the polos, but they'll get other things. And then they go away and talk about it. They might not back you there and then, but you then have 50 people or whatever who are your champions, getting out there, speaking about your campaign. Absolutely. So those are the three things I reckon.
And just one last thing is for the so-called backers, people that support the campaign, what is in it for them? I mean, they obviously contribute towards your success or towards your dream goal of raising funds for the project. So what is in it for them? I mean,
what's in it for them?
Yeah.
Well, you decide that.
Okay.
So you know, it's one of the things that we do is with most other platforms, you put your campaign up and hope for the best.
Yes.
We tend to do a fair amount of advice given back. So you'll submit your campaign and we look at it. And it's to our benefit as well that you succeed. So we really try to help people actually create the best campaign they can.
Yeah.
So if we look at a reward and we think, you know what, 300 Rand for a bottle of cola.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit much.
Yeah.
So we really work with you to say, okay, these look exciting.
Yes.
These are some other ideas of what people have done.
Yeah.
So offer those. The last thing we do is we recommend that you ask your friends. So send the campaign notes and preview to 10 friends and say, would you back us with this reward?
Yes. Yeah.
And they say, absolutely, that's great. And they say, oh, that one's sure, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought about what another reward. What about doing that?
Yes.
So you use crowdsourcing to actually create your crowdfunding campaign.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's it from our side. Patrick, thank you so much for your time and sharing some insights about Thundafund and crowdfunding and what it's all about. To all the listeners out there watching or viewers out there, we're looking forward to our campaign. Support us, like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, visit our webpage, and that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you once again, Patrick. And
it's an absolute pleasure.
We're looking forward to the campaign.
And so we.
Great. Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
Ciao. Where is it? There we go.